أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ولا عاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن صار بسيره واهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. وبعد، فيا أيها الإخوة، أوصي نفسي وإياكم بتقوى الله سبحانه وتعالى. Respected brothers and sisters, once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, first and foremost, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. In the meaning of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, He invites us to come together, to come close to each other. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمْ تَفَصَّحُوا فِي الْمَجَالِسِ فَافْصَحُوا يَفْسَحِ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. If you are asked to create some gaps for some brothers and sisters to come in between, probably sit in between you, please do so. Create some gaps for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create gaps for you somewhere, inshallah. By this, I invite all brothers and sisters who may be out there, inshallah, to come. We have created some gaps for you, inshallah, so you could occupy them, bi'idhnillah. Barakallahu fikum. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome the brothers from all parts of the world, to welcome all of you again, not as the Imam of this masjid, but as a regular follower or attendant some time back of salawat here in this masjid, to welcome the new brothers whose faces I'm seeing today to this new place, the Bayt of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the brothers and sisters who are doing whatever is possible for them to do to make this place what it is today. We are strangers. Though the brother said that Abdallah is not a stranger in this place, but we sort of act like strangers because we just come in and go. We don't know what's taking place here. But someone is doing what brought us here today. Someone is doing every part for us. So by the time we need to come back and enjoy this place, we come and freely enjoy it. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the brothers and sisters who are doing it, making it so clean and so hospitable, inshallah. Yallah yajzikum khair. Our topic is about voluntarism. And I don't think I'm the right person to do that, but because I've been preparing for this for quite a long time, it was planned to be somewhere around December 2013, but today it's when it's materializing. Now, that would mean that a lot of preparation has taken place, but no, because every time, you know better than me, every time you prepare, and if it's time for you to present, it's as if you're starting all afresh. At voluntarism, we are tackling it in two ways. The first one is very clear. All of us know it. Every day we are told, every now and then, please do go volunteer. Please do go, do some services, services to your society. Give back to your communities. And you have some tangible results coming to you right there and then. And Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we are doing that and we are excellent. Based on the statistics that we have today, at least the US is doing a tremendous job all over the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep that record for us. Before I tackle it, I'm going to come up with a question that's likely to come at the end, but I'm going to come with it right at the beginning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, asks actually, that أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do you enjoin people, tell people to do good, go volunteer. وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. And then you yourself skip back. You step back, tell someone, please go do volunteer. وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ. And it's you who read this book. Which book is upright? Which book is never changed? Which book is a miracle that for 1435 years has never been changed? Which book is found in the heart of someone that is the youngest of all of us, 5 years old? And then the question comes at the end of it, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you have brains to put it simple? That's a question that any one of us, I would ask any one of us to ask himself by the end of our talk, inshallah. And this directly to our brothers, my brothers, the shuyukh, the ulama, those who stand, we who stand and preach and tell people to do good. It has to begin with us. That will come at the end. And I wish every one of us may ask him or herself that question before we leave the evening. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is volunteerism? What's to volunteer? Looking in the dictionary, they have defined it as simply offering skillful services to a society. Am I right? Offering offering yourself with your skills and your time to a given community as in a way of giving back to that community. Simple. But it does not stop there. Going to Bentley University as a student of coexistence and conflict. PMF pops up. PMF pops up, which is a program that is designed by the President Obama to support people who are graduating, who may not have the experience to get some better jobs, to find a path to getting into the national jobs, state and above. And when you are filling out that application, they ask you some questions, and part of the questions is, have you ever done some voluntary work somewhere? And the following question is that it does not disqualify you from getting a job or getting scrutinized or probably elevated to another level, but it may be a plus at the end of the day. And when I heard about this, I was thinking about myself. When I read about it, thinking about myself, wow, I wish I went out and did some voluntary work. But at this time, it was too late because the window is just 2 years, and once you're out of that window, you are gone. If I'm wrong, please, brothers, I may not have all the facts, but some clue, please correct us. We don't want to give some people the wrong information. But the point is, if you need to go work for government, you have to have done some voluntary work. And actually, if you do it, you get rewarded for that. How do you get rewarded? You are admitted in some big organizations, the 500 big companies, because you have done some job for no money somewhere. If you've done it somewhere for no money, then you're not going to be a burden to this organization because you will be looking for or asking for much money, for more money. If they advise us to do that, and we do it, we make the United States #1, according to some statistics. Actually, mine is too old, it's 2011. But it gave the United States the 3rd position in the world as a nation that is rendering services, free services to every part of the world. And for that reason, brothers and sisters, there is prosperity. The United States, believe it or not, is going up. It is triumphing. Because of these acts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do, we neglect sometimes hoping that someone else will do those jobs for us. And may I pause here and ask you one more time, inshallah, whenever you find the opportunity to do some free services, please do. This is a direct appeal to you, brothers. For the reasons that you're going to see and how it benefits us in 2 ways. Now, looking at the first piece, for which I brought that analogy of PMF, the rewards are tangible, but sometimes you don't go beyond your lifetime, meaning that after death, those results are not coming to you again. But how do we connect it with our meeting today? The way we connect it is that we can do both, benefit in both ways. One, to benefit us in this dunya, and number 2, to benefit us when we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's my area of contention in now. There are so many situations, so many stories that the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala contains in regards to this topic. But I looked at one part because I wasn't able to explore or dig every information that is in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because my knowledge is limited. But the story of Musa alayhi salam, we are going to look at 6 verses of Musa alayhi salam and interpret these verses, inshallah, and find them applicable to the situation or to the day-to-day life that you're living today. Bi-idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. And before I go, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me remember that dua. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this conversation a clear conversation, a conversation that will be understood by everyone of us, inshallah, and at the end of the day, we become the implementers, inshallah. The story of Musa in Surah Al-Qasas, verse 22 to 28, bringing you back, taking you back to where Musa came from, Musa alayhi salam. Musa, born at a time when Pharaoh, the king in Egypt, says that I'm going to kill every single male kid that's born. because I read from the books of Ibrahim and the books of the generation that came before me, before the king, that someone that's going to take away your kingdom is going to be from the sons of Israel, children of Israel. And for that reason, it was decreed by Fir'aun, La'natullahi alayhi. Fir'aun, for those of you who are not familiar with him, he's a king that lived in Egypt but said, I'm the Lord. I can kill, I can give life. He decrees that every son that is born in my time is going to be killed. Some narrations say, both authentic, that he said that I'm going to kill 1 year. Actually, in fact, the beginning was killing all of them. But then people say that there is we are not going to have that reproduction if we keep killing every son, because how would you leave only the females in place and then have a reproduction? Then the decree was changed, the law was changed a little bit, amended, meaning that now kill them 1 year and leave 1 year, don't kill them. So now the two servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala coming in place. That is Musa alayhi salam and Harun. Harun comes in place. Harun is born in a year which is so good, Fir'aun is not killing during this year. Now Musa alayhi salam is very unfortunate, is born at a time when he's supposed to die. But by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to cut this whole story short, he survives. Comes to the palace where Fir'aun lives, eventually becomes like son of the king, harmoniously enjoying the king, the freedom that is in the palace. But finally he has to go out of that place because that was not his destination. What made him go out of that place made him move out of the nation, which we call today migration. Musa alayhi salam migrates from his place of birth to Madian. He gets to Madian. Now this is where he starts his job of doing voluntary job. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, and I'll read the Arabic text, inshallah, and then come back and do the translation of this text, these verses, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولما توجه تلقاء مدين قال عسى ربي أن يهديني سواء السبيل. ولما ورد ماء مدين وجد عليه أمة من الناس يسقون ووجد من دونهم امرأتين تذودان قال ما خطبكما قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء وأبونا شيخ كبير فسقى لهم ثم تولى إلى الظل فقال ربي إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير. فجاءته إحداهما تمشي على استحياء قالت إن أبي يدعوك ليجزيك أجر ما سقيت لنا. فلما جاءه وقص عليه القصص قال لا تخف نجوت من القوم الظالمين. قالت إحداهما يا أبت استأجره إن خير من استأجرت القوي الأمين قال إني أريد أن أنكحك إحدى ابنتي هاتين على أن تأجرني 8 حجج فإن أتممت 10 فمن عندك وما أريد أن أشق عليك ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصالحين قال ذلك بيني وبينك أيما الأجلين قضيت فلا عدوان علي والله على ما نقول وكيل ومن أصدق من الله قيلا. Musa alayhi salam, Allah himself is telling us that on his way ولما توجه تلقاء مدين قال عسى ربي أن يهديني سواء السبيل. On his way getting to Madian, he said, "Oh Allah, I'm coming back to you. Oh my Lord, I ask you, because where I'm going, I don't know." He's running away from the people that are planning to kill him, but he doesn't know where he's going. When he gets there, he raises his arms, responds to the call that he always has to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in every affair. And he says, "Ya Allah, I ask you to guide me to the right path, to direct me to where is great." And then, وَلَمَّا وَرَدَ مَاءَ مَدْيَنَ, when he comes to that bitter, to that water in Madian, وَجَدَ عَلَيْهِ أُمَّةً, he found on that bitter, that stream of water, a group of people that are feeding shepherd, that are watering their animals. But again, on the other side, he observes there are 2 ladies there who cannot come close to this well to feed their animals. They're just seated there waiting. And then Musa alayhi salam, he is concerned. He comes too close to these 2 ladies and says, "Ma khatbukuma, what's the issue with you? What are you doing here? Why are you not participating in feeding your animals just as they are? Why don't you do that?" قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء. We cannot do this until everyone simply, we cannot do it as they do it, because we are so lazy, we are so unstrong, strong enough to do that, and they have the power. So we let them do whatever they have to do right now, fetch the water, feed their animals, and when they're done, we'll take out of the skills. Our skill is the shape. And then he becomes so concerned that this is a people that has no difference between this and that one. But these people have no power, and because they have no power, they are denied of that number 1 choice. They can't drink the water. They cannot even bring their animals to do that. So they're keeping themselves aside until these ones are done. Yes, he observes patience. He waits until the other group finishes all their matter. And then he comes, calls upon them, says, "Let's do the business for you." فَسَخَى لَهُمَا, Musa alayhi salam does the job of watering the animals, giving the animals some water. ثُمَّ تَوَلَّى إِلَى الظِّلِّ, and then he went on the side under a tree. فَقَالَ رَبِّي إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٍ. Oh Allah, the literal meaning of this verse, Musa contemplating the bounty, the beauty, the skill that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him. Now let's talk about volunteerism. Given that definition that we got, that is rendering the skills that you have, that you possess, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you, to a community that does not have it. Most at this point, his skill is the energy, the power. And Musa was so strong, stronger than even that group of people that used to feed their animals, fed and watered their animals, even before these two ladies. He waits until they disperse, and then comes at the well. The culture was that before they disperse, they would, when they come, they remove a rock, a very huge rock, from the entrance or the right way of the water. They remove it, and these were 10 huge, strong guys doing the removing of this stone out of the water so they can feed their animals, and when they're done, they put it back. Now Musa observes them to learn what they do. Once they have left, he comes and says, let me feed the animals. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him that skill of being so strong, stronger than 10 men. He moves the rock by himself, feeds the animals, and then tells the girls, please go home. The animals are now full. Now to stop here a little bit, Musa is giving us a good example of the skills that we have, that we possess today. You are an engineer, you are a doctor, you are an artist, you are a politician that has some say somewhere, you are the alim, the sheikh that stands there, you are someone that has the skills that others don't possess. And this is your community. Those skills, Musa alayhi salam is telling us, showing us how we put them into practice. Himself takes away the rock, and himself feeds the animals, waters the animals, quenches the thirst, and himself places it back for no pay. Volunteerism. He didn't ask to be paid before he did that. He did not ask to be paid after doing it. Isn't that the approach that we take when we go out to volunteer? Do we ask them for a pay? Please respond. Do we ask for any pay? The US, when it goes out all over the world to do some voluntary work, it does not ask for a pay. Maybe it's there, maybe I don't know, but I've never heard about it. We do it for free. Now Musa did it for free, and he does it for two, actually three. When I was examining the verse, 3. One, the two ladies that was seated there, desperately not knowing what to do, and the animals which did not ask Musa to do the job. Which implies that whenever we go to do the services, actually, we go to protect the environment. The entire environment is inclusive of animals. I hope that we connect, we stay together, inshallah, and move together. Now, Musa, by doing that, he provides his services to the three, never asks for any pay. Look at what happens. Isn't this what the United States or what the job creators tell us, that go do some voluntary work? Once you do it, Just record it somewhere. We're going to invite you that you did a voluntary work somewhere here. If I came and did it here at Masjid Yusuf, tomorrow if there is an opening, they're going to invite me. I'm going to be on the list. Number one. Brothers and sisters, isn't that the case? When you go do the volunteer work, any volunteer work, any organization, are you last on the list or first on the list if there is an opportunity? Always first. Now Musa alayhi, thank you very much. Musa alayhi salam, he did this job and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is paying him. How did he pay him? فجاءته إحداهما تمشي على استحياء. Later, after doing his job, he's seated under the tree, and these two girls go back to their father. Actually, they say, وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ. وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ. Our father is an old man. We are so helpless, we cannot do anything. But then when they go back, they come back, one of them comes back. عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاء, with modesty, not arrogantly, but with modesty, coming back to Musa alayhi salam. What did he tell him? قالت إن أبي يدعوك ليجزيك أجر ما سقيت لنا. He says to Musa, my dad is calling you, my father is calling you so he can pay you for what you did. What did he do? Can we respond, brothers? What did he do? He watered the animals, he gave them some water, and he also helped these two young ladies. So my father is inviting you home so he can pay you for the job you did. Wallah, he did a tremendous job. And Musa, in longer narration, Musa alayhi salam is going with that lady, that young girl, going to see the father. Look at what Musa did. Instead of Musa asking the lady to go in front of her so she can give her the direction, we are doing this and Musa is following, Musa alayhi salam said, let me lead you. He's now moving in front and asking the lady to keep behind. And what lesson does he teach us here? Staying away from any temptations. Musa alayhi salam instructs, advises that God, if you see me going right when I'm actually supposed to go left, use that table, throw it to the direction I'm going, and I will know where we're going. Don't say what. Which tells us that your side sisters, sometimes, most of the time actually, we don't say words. We may just use some gestures. You use gestures because your voice is awra sometimes. So she's advised to throw a table to show direction. And then they get to the gentleman. They arrive at the gentleman, the old man. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ وَقَصَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَصَصَ قَالَ لَا تَخَفْ. Musa narrated the whole story as to why he left his place. People are looking to kill me. I'm migrating, but I don't know where I'm going. قَالَ لَا تَخَفْ نَجَيْتَ الْيَوْمِ. قَالَ لَا تَخَفْ قَالَ لَا تَخَفْ نَجَوْتَ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Don't fear, don't get scared. You are free. You are out of their boundaries. You are in another territory. No one is going to come for you. Now Musa is living at peace, resting. قالت إحداهما. Then one of these girls was following and suggests to the parent, says, Ya abat istajirhu. My father, why don't you employ that man? Imagine, brothers, let's connect, and sisters. Let's stay the course that Musa alayhi salam and volunteerism today are connected. After doing your voluntary work at any organization, once you say, bye, I'm done with my time of voluntary work, maybe you're still at college, you're still going to school, you came just to do as an intern. You are interning there. When you're done, you go. Once an opening opens up, they call you. Now Musa was called and he's given a job. Which job was suggested by the daughter of that servant of Allah? Actually, the servant of Allah that we're talking about, the gentleman, the old man, في بعض الأقوال, in some narrations, it is stated, and they are authentic, that this is Nabiullah Shu'aib, the Prophet of Allah by the names of Shu'aib. He is the father of these two girls. He says, give him a job. And what's the job? The father says, I'm going to give you a job. But I have two options. I have two ways of telling you this. One, my responsibility is to ask you to do the services of being a shepherd for my animals for the next 80 years. And for that, I'm going to give you one of these daughters. Meaning that you are marrying one of my daughters, and the ajr, they pay for that, you are going to work for me for 80 years. But if you need to exceed the 8 to make it 10, I say Alhamdulillah. I'll say thank you. Again, Musa alayhi salam did extra work voluntarily. Meaning that if they give you a job to do somewhere, they send me to do a job voluntarily for a certain period of time, if they ask me to do extra hours, I should not say no. Because Musa never said no. Now, at the end, in verse 28, قال ذلك بيني وبينك أيما الأجرين قضيت فلا عدوان. That's between me and you. If I'm spending here 8 or 10 years, inshallah, that is between me and you, and I'm not responsible. You're not going to be responsible. I will do whatever I can, inshallah. Wallahu ala ma naqul wakil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a witness to whatever we're doing. Let's go out of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and look at this practically. Going back to that verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Are we the people that are supposed to do this job? Based on this fact, from Surah Al-Qasas, the story of Musa alayhi salam, the way he did his job, and the way he got rewarded for whatever he did without asking for a pay in the beginning. Are Muslims supposed to be at the forefront? It's a question open. It's an open question. Let's exchange ideas, brothers. Let's interact. Muslims, because you are reading this book, we are reading this book. Should I put it clear that we are supposed to be at the forefront every time they call for volunteers?
First in line.
Right? I think so, 100%. We don't know, without any hesitation. But where are we? Statistics. And that's what I'm going to close with, inshallah. Statistically, the United States has done a great job. Alhamdulillah. United States is not a Muslim state. And it's very absurd. Muslim states, actually countries that are mentioned, Sweden, New Zealand, and the United States, always competing with each other. Whenever they ask people to go help people who are dying somewhere, it is these three nations coming at the forefront. And when I see the United States coming, I also say Alhamdulillah. But there is one piece that is remaining. that I'm the one that is reading this book. If I'm not there and I understand exactly how it implies in this material world, and finally, which piece that I'll close with, finally, I'll be rewarded before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why is there no Muslim nation at the forefront? I think we should ask ourselves such a question. In conflict resolution, there is what we call, I'm not a politician, we don't politic. But there is what we call winning the mind and the heart of the people. The way we win the mind and the heart and eventually the body of the person is by extending services to that person. Be passionate. Always be there. Respond. How? You spend your money and you physically go there. يجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالهم وأنفسهم. They struggle in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with their wealth and by themselves. Now, brothers, it's a general question that I'm leaving every one of you. When are we getting there? We are under the umbrella of the United States of America. That's why we qualify to be in category number 3. Actually, America is number 3. Sweden, New Zealand, and America. You can go look for that fact, inshallah. Statistically, that's how they present themselves. Now, within the Muslims, I would suggest that every masjid would recruit some individuals that are ready. Anytime they say, there is a fighting, like now in Syria, it's the Muslims that are supposed to talk to the Muslims and say, Ittaqillah. Fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't fight, don't kill each other, don't do this. We are the people that are supposed to do this. When shall we step up? And when the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah comes, it will begin with us. Because if we see injustice taking place somewhere and we say we are not concerned sometimes, we are keeping a distance, the punishment is not going to discriminate. It's going to cover all of us. And the reality is, the suffering of the world spills over to us. Now, my call, brothers, is that we should step up, do some work. We can start with the smallest thing that we can do, and then develop the intention that we can do better, inshallah, and more, inshallah. We are not done, because Musa alayhi salam, when he did whatever was he did, everything put together was tangible. In a way that he got the rewards here in this dunya. He got a girl, he got a job, he was saved, he ran away from a place where he was going to be killed, but he was given the hospitality, maybe became an assailee there. But eventually, again, he has a reward whenever he meets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whenever we are doing it, we are doing it in two ways. It's based on the intention. One, I'm going to do it simply because if I do it, I'll qualify to get a job. Number two, I'm going to do it simply because if I do it, I'll be rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for this cause, voluntarism, you can be rewarded for Allah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you don't ask for any pay up front, neither do you ask for a pay after doing the job, but eventually they follow you up. They come for you, say you did some work, some good job, come get rewarded for this. If they invite you to be rewarded, don't say no, please take it. And then also wait to claim that when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Small statement, خير الكلام ما قل ودل. Short statement, the best conversation is that conversation that's too short but full of meaning. I don't think there's any meaning that I've given from my side. I think I've just recited to you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. I think I did one small piece of work, which is to learn, to go back and review that statement, those statements of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us the story about Moses and how he did his job. I think I've tried to deliver. If I've mistakenly done anything, that's for me. Anything that is right is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless this gathering. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us, make us individuals who listen to words, pick the best out of them, and implement them. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate us and tell us, inshallah, to give us the faith, the intention, the iman, the capability, the skills required to go out and volunteer. We can start here. We can start here. And if there's no questions, I'm going to invite the brother to come tell us where to begin. Brothers are here. Please come forth and let us know where we should put our foot, the first foot, inshallah, so we can start volunteering, inshallah. But don't forget, Muslim names don't appear on the list of people who are volunteering all over the world and the United States. Muslims' names is unlimited. We are the people who read the book of Allah, who know the rewards associated with doing the job of volunteerism. We should be at the forefront. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jazakum khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.